Great. So welcome, everybody. I'm still kind of buzzing a bit from Pixie Pete, to be honest with you. So I'm actually really pleased to be teaching a kind of a practice that with the intention of grounding. I feel like after the podcast and the dancing, I'm very much here at the moment, and I'm going to try and get back down here and eventually get back connected to the floor a little bit more. So yeah, thank you for joining. I really appreciate people coming out for this event, all the hard work that Vaughan's put into it, and supporting all the facilitators. And this is going to be classic, traditional sort of hatha yoga practice. Like I say, with the intention of grounding. It's going to be suitable for everybody. But everything from this point forward is going to be an invitation for you to join in where you want to. Anything that you want to leave out, feel free to. So just whilst we're waiting a couple more minutes, we're going to come into a comfortable seated position. The whole idea, I don't tend to play music in my classes. The whole idea is I want people to start bringing their experience inward. So starting to detract from the outside world, coming into withdrawing the senses towards the inside of the body and our connection with the ground. So we're going to start by coming into a nice comfortable seat. And I'm sitting cross-legged, but obviously if you want to have a leg out, you can have a leg out. You can do whatever you want, really. I'm taking a bolster behind me just to elevate the hips slightly. And then we can place the hands somewhere lightly in the lap, maybe just resting on the knees. Let's just take a moment to close the eyes if you're comfortable with closing the eyes. And if you'd rather keep your eyes open, that's also fine. Maybe just coming into a soft gaze. And really this practice and this part of the day, we're going to be slowing things down a little bit, maybe staying a little bit longer in each position, really exploring all the sensations that come up. And we're just going to let the breath be at the natural resting rhythm. So there's no need to deepen the breath in any way. No need to change the breath. Allow the breath to be soft, comfortable, natural depth and rhythm. Noticing the sensation of the breath, maybe in the nostrils, the expansion of the tummy and chest. Allow the body to become soft, even though we're still alert and awake and active. There's a softness to it. Allow the face to be soft. Features of the face, you can have a little parting between the teeth to relax the jaw. Let the shoulders be soft, gently sloping. I had to just, as soon as I said that, I felt my shoulders just go whew, once I gave them permission to relax. The spine is upright, but again, there's a softness to it. We're not sat up, bolt upright. We're alert, yet relaxed. And now we're going to make a sound. So imagine if the ground had a sound to it, like it's a deep, earthy, resonant kind of sound that we're going to try and make. And we're actually going to feel this sound coming up from the ground all the way up through the spine and up and out through the crown of the head. So just work with me. It's going to be like a mouth open kind of humming sound. So maybe I'll just give a bit of a demonstration as to what I mean. So I'm going to take a big breath in. And then we're going to go, So think of it as being your deepest tone that you could possibly make and remain comfortable. So no one can hear you, so you can make as much noise as you like. If you're feeling a bit self-conscious, don't worry. We're just going to take a big breath in together, breathing in. From the earth all the way up the spine and out the crown of the head. And then we're going to do it one more time, breathing in. And then one last time, so that's 3 times altogether, taking a big breath. Deep, resonant, earthy tone. And then keeping the hands on the knees or in the lap, we're going to drop the awareness now completely into all the parts of the body that are in touch with the floor. So feeling the solid surface of the ground, the floor, carpet, tiles, wood flooring. Feel the solid, the solidity, the density of the ground supporting your whole body. And it's not just the floor, it's the foundations of the building you're in, the bricks and the concrete. And it's the stone and the soil beneath that. Feel this whole support system beneath you, kilometre after kilometre, keeping your body safe, grounded, rooted in one spot. Feel that sense of pressure where the body meets the ground. Feeling your body's weight as it sits against the floor. Feel the shape of your body, the space that you take up on the mat, if you're on a mat. Maybe if you're watching a recording of this, you might be in a chair. Feel the solid chair beneath you and the shape that the chair takes up. Now see if we can really expand that sensation, really dropping into that sensation of touch and the body against the ground. These two opposing forces, gravity pulling you down into one spot, met by this solid supporting earth beneath you. And as a result, feel yourself really opening up and letting go, knowing that you're not going to fall anywhere, knowing that you can practice and open yourself up safely without putting yourself at risk or in danger, that the earth is going to be there to hold you. And if you are experiencing anything at the moment, if you're going through anything that may result in some feelings of tension, maybe they're being stored somewhere in the shoulders or the lower back or the chest. If you're able to let go of some of it, not all of it perhaps, but some of it, whatever you're able to let go of, allow the ground to take it. However that works for you. Letting it be absorbed by the floor and the soil and the rocks beneath. Just releasing what we're able to release. Maybe it's emotional, maybe there's some sadness or some other things that we're processing. Just letting go of what we're able to let go of. So we're creating space in the body, a space which we can practice in. Maybe we can coordinate this with the breath. As we breathe out, we release what we're able to. When we breathe in, increasing that sense of connection with the ground. Breathing out the tension, breathing in connection. Let's just work with this for a couple more breaths. Breathing in, strengthening the connection. Breathing out, letting go of tension. Don't worry if it doesn't work for you. Just pretend and move on. And if you're really held on to your tension, don't worry, you can have it back at the end. And then we're going to, if you need to have a little shuffle around, by the way, not everyone's comfortable sitting up, please feel free to do so. We're going to take the arms out to the side. They don't have to be rigid, just nice active arms. Inhale, now we are going to start to deepen the breath. We're going to bring the arms up over the head. Inhale as the arms come up, reaching up towards the sky. Exhale, turning the palms down. One full exhalation. Inhale, palms up, stretching both sides of the body. Exhale, turning those palms out to the side, bringing them down. Now, as we breathe in, we're going to imagine this energy and connection coming up from the ground, up the spine, all the way up to the very crown of the head. And then exhale, feel that energy traveling down the body, back out to the floor, increasing that sense of connection. Breathing in, bringing it up from the earth. Exhale, offering it back. That's a nice way of putting it. Inhale, increasing that connection, drawing it up from the earth. Exhale, we offer something back. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale, increasing that sense of connection. This time we're going to hold, reach up, pointing up towards the sky, stretching. Why don't we take a little side bend here whilst we're here? That's quite nice, opening up those ribs, and then coming back to the center. Let's take it to the other side, back to the middle, and then exhale. We're going to take it all the way back down, offering it back. Starting to work on the spine, we can bring the hands onto the knees now. So our spine, we're going to start actually from the neck as we drop the chin to the chest. Just let the weight, going to be working a lot with gravity today, so just let the weight of the head and gravity do the opening for you. Feel that lengthening in the back of the neck. And then we're going to look all the way up to the ceiling as we feel that stretch in the front of the neck, everything that's going on there, thyroid gland, voice box, all the stuff that's housed there, getting a little bit of a stretch. Take the head back to center, drop an ear over to one side. Again, we just use the weight of the head to help us sink deeper into the pose. Coming back and then dropping the head over. So although I'm talking, try to keep that sense of connection with the floor at all times. Bringing the head back, drop the chin onto the chest as we start to make some really juicy neck rolls here. Again, I'm not really doing anything. I'm directing the head, and then the weight of the head is doing the work for me. I'm just focused on keeping my back straight, my legs connected to the floor. I'm not counting, just whatever feels good. We're going to go around. If you want to do them very super slow and just do one, that's fine. And then we're going to go back the other way. So when we bring the head back, try not to jerk the head back too much. We want to protect the back of the neck. So only going within your body's own range of movement. And then we're going to take that head back up to center. Extending the legs out in front, we're actually going to lie down. A lot of the stuff we're going to do today, we're going to keep it very low, following this theme of grounding. So I'm just hoping you can see me there, yeah. So lying on the back, and then again, we're going to drop the awareness into the parts of you that are in touch with the floor. So now you're going to feel a lot more of that connection. We're going to bring the legs together. So your feet will be touching. The body's nice and long. Feel the lower back, so this tailbone connected to the floor. You're actually going to engage that. So you're actually going to press the lower back into the ground. So it's quite active, pressing the lower back. You shouldn't be able to pass anything underneath your back. That's how grounded the spine is. Now, we're going to start to lengthen the body. Inhale as the arms come up, pointing the toes, and you're going to be at your longest here. Fingertips to toes, and then exhale, curling the toes towards you. So I'm kind of just giving a dialogue of what I'm doing in terms of breath, but don't feel you need to follow my breath cues, just do your own thing. Curl, inhale, lengthen all the time, pressing the back of the body into the floor. Let's just work with this for a moment. Using the arms like bellows to inflate the lungs and point. Exhale and curl. Inhale and point. One last time. Exhale and curl those toes. Feel the whole back of the legs getting a stretch here. And then one more time, we're going to hold. Inhale, bringing the arms up. We're going to interlace the fingers above the head, pointing the toes. Now, I love this. Kids love this as well, but we're going to shuffle on the ground like a snake. You've seen videos of snakes as they sort of move in the sand, and they're sort of wiggling their legs one way and their arms the other way. So we're going to be moving in the sand like a snake. We stay completely connected to the floor, but we're just kind of wiggling left to right as if we were propelling ourselves through the sand. I'm sure you're all doing a great job. I can't really see you from here, so I'm sure you're all doing a great wiggling snake impression here. And then we're going to hold in the middle, and again, stretching, pointing those fingers and toes, coming into a crescent moon stretch on the back. So we're going to take it to the right first as we follow the digestive system. So rotating to the right first. So arms and feet as if we're making that, you've all seen the crescent moon, making that crescent moon shape on the floor. And you're going to feel this left side opening here, left side of the body. Hold here. Maybe you've come off our intention and our focus, so coming back to the floor, back to the sensation of the ground and all the parts of you. Notice which parts of you are touching the ground now. Maybe there's more pressure in certain areas like shoulders. Well, shoulders for me, and then come back to the midpoint, and then we're going to take that crescent moon over to the other side. So now notice maybe parts of you have suddenly rolled off, maybe you've rolled off center. So we're going to try and ground down through that opposite. So for me, that's going to be my right shoulder. I can feel it wanting to come up off the floor. So I'm going to actively engage that to keep me as connected to the ground as possible. Breathing deep into the right ribs here, and then coming back to center. Have one more stretch here above the head. Okay, so we're going to really flex the toes up towards you. Exhale as the arms come down. I'm going to draw that right knee up onto my chest. Right knee comes up onto the chest. Give it a squeeze. Squeezing it in, but try not to take those shoulders off the ground. There's kind of like a tendency to sort of want to curl everything up, and that's great. But for this more grounding practice, I really want to keep as much of the body on the floor as possible. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that knee close into you. Now, to stretch out the back of that leg, I'm going to draw that leg up 90 degrees in the air. Big stretch here. And as we're here, we may as well make some circles with the ankle. Giving that foot a nice few circles each way. So often these extremities get, wrists and ankles and toes are just as much a part of you as everything else. So make sure we give them some love as well. Then I'm going to bend that knee, bringing the knee back onto the chest. I'm going to take it over to the left side. So I'm going to use my left hand to draw me over. Yeah, so I'm coming into a twist. Now I'm going to hold my knee in place with the hand as I take the right arm out to the side. So the right arm is shoulder height. You're looking, and we're going to turn the gaze over towards the right side. So coming into this spinal twist. Now, coming back to the theme of grounding. What parts of you are in touch with the floor now? How does this position feel against the ground? Can we increase that sense of grounding by releasing tension, by letting go, by allowing gravity to help us sink onto the ground further? Let's stay here for a couple of breaths. With each exhale, see if you can drop. Now you've found the shape, see if you can drop into it even more. If there's too much pressure in the lower back, feel free to bend both legs. Always staying safe. We're practicing within our safe range of movement. Just let everything drop. Very nice. And then we can come back to center. I'm going to keep that knee bent. Only this time, I'm drawing it back into the chest. Only this time, I'm going to take the knee out to the same side, opening up that right hip. Taking the left hand, I'm going to use it to ground down my left leg to stop me rolling over to the side. So I'm pressing my left hand into the left leg. I'm opening out the right knee to the side. I'm supporting that right knee with the right hand, and I'm breathing into that right hip. Again, every other part of you is attached to the ground. Kind of, you know what I mean? Deep breaths into that hip. Just notice where you're holding, where there's tension, and release. Then I'm going to take that knee back, and then it's going to join the other leg, bringing that leg down. Just take a moment to adjust. We're going to have a little shuffle from left to right. Make sure that we're nice and aligned equally between left and right, both sitting bones on the ground. Lower back is tailbone pressed into the floor. Then I'm going to take up that left knee, squeeze that left knee as close into the chest as possible without bringing the shoulders up. Take the leg up into the air, interlace the fingers behind that leg, having that nice deep hamstring stretch. Flex the toes so the stretch runs the whole length of that leg. Making some circles with the foot. Don't forget that ankle. Just enjoying a nice slow pace of class, really withdrawing those senses inward, feeling what's going on with the body, bringing that knee close in, holding onto the knee with the right hand, drawing that right knee across the body, left knee across the body over to the right side as I open the arm up, coming into the twist, into the rotation on the opposite side. Once you've found a comfortable position, a comfortable shape, you just let gravity and your weight, body's weight, do all the work for you. Become still, finding stillness within each position. Notice if it's any different to the body is not symmetrical. Notice if there's any difference between this side and the previous side. Notice which points are still in touch with the ground, increasing that connection. Good. Then we're going to take that knee back up, opening the knee to the same side. It's going to come out to the left, taking my right hand, pressing my right thigh into the floor to stop me from rolling over. And I really feel now I can open that hip safely as I'm nice and connected to the ground. I can just let that go, breathing into that left hip. Just notice if there's additional room to open that hip when you start to relax. It's almost like I have to tell myself each time I get into a position, I have to keep reminding myself, continue to let go and to breathe. There should be no holding the breath. And then we're going to come back to center. I'm actually going to bring the other knee up now. So I've got both knees up and I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to make sure that I don't roll back. So keeping that tailbone nice and grounded on the floor. Shoulders stay down. And I'm going to apply and increase the pressure from the arm, via the arms, around the knees, squeezing those knees close to the chest. So I'm completely connected, just knees to chest. Feel that nice compression. Don't need to do anything more, just keep that pressure against the knees. And then I'm going to take my forehead up to the knees. So like you're trying to curl yourself, but nothing else comes up. Bring the forehead up, maybe the upper back comes up a bit, but the lower back stays on the floor. It's like you're trying to squeeze yourself into the smallest space. And then I'm going to bring the head back down, planting both feet firmly on the floor, about hip width apart. You can actually take a quick look down at the feet if you can see them. Make sure they're two straight parallel lines, hip width apart. The arms are going to come along the side, palms face down. Again, just checking in with that tailbone, making sure the very base of the spine nice and connected to the ground. And now we're going to, again, just feel the parts of you that are in touch with the floor. Maybe just pressing a bit more pressure into the soles of the feet, really connecting down through the soles of the feet. Keep pressing, pressing, pressing. Increase that pressure. Press, press, press. Eventually you're going to feel your pelvis lifting up as we lift, lift, lift. The spine peels off the ground. At the same time, the arms are going to come up as we come into this sort of extended bridge position. Keep pressing. Feel the power coming from the legs. So you're not just lifting your hips up and down. The power is coming from the legs as well. Press, press, press. Exhale, bring the arms down. And we're sticking, feeling. Get completely into that spine. One vertebrae at a time. Slow it down all the way down to the tailbone and down come the arms. Take a moment and then inhale, press into the legs. Press into the legs, the power raises the pelvis, the arms come up, lifting, peeling that spine off the floor, raising the heart and chest up towards the sky. Now we're just going to get into a flow there. I trust you guys completely to find your own pace. Exhale, sticking. Inhale, peeling. Up we come. Exhale. Really, in fact, if you can close your eyes, I want you to be just completely with that sensation. This wave of energy rising from the feet all the way up the spine as you raise, and then exhale, sticking one vertebrae at a time as we come down. Just getting into a nice groove with it. If you're feeling a bit tired and you just want to take a rest or anything, you can just work on just lifting the pelvis up and the lower back. That's also quite nice, sort of baby bridge, just working on that. Now, last time, so next time you're in the extension, next time the bridge is raised, we're going to hold there. Up comes the bridge, hold. Keep the upper body raised, bringing the arms down along the side of the body. You're actually going to bring the arms behind the back, interlace the fingers, transfer some of the weight to the upper body, so onto the shoulders. And then you can raise even more. Maybe you can even come up onto tiptoes here as you completely raise the torso off the back, off the floor. Real heart opening position. And now the awareness is in those shoulders. Really feel the weight being taken by those shoulders. This is the part that's grounded. The part that's grounded is usually the part that's doing the majority of the work. So here, obviously, the feet and the shoulders. Tuck that chin in towards the chest. Breathing's either natural. If you want to have you've got your own breath practice, feel free to take that on. And then slowly, we're going to come back down. We can release those hands, start to stick those vertebrae one at a time. Once the lower back, the tailbone reaches the floor, I'm going to extend both legs up into the air. And I'm going to support those legs from behind, flexing those toes. Keep curling those toes towards you, but without rolling back. But we are going to roll back. This bit's optional as we come into an inversion. We can either stay here or the hands can come to the floor with the palms down as we begin to peel the spine off the floor as those legs come back. Now your legs might be hovering off the floor, which is fine. If they are, keep your hands on the mat to stop you from rolling back. If you can comfortably get your toes to the ground, then by all means bring your toes to the ground as we come into this plough position. So we've just prepared for this in bridge. So we had the shoulders, the weight in bridge was on the shoulders, and now we increase that as we come into this halasana plough position. Start to, if you can, start to try and straighten the legs, pressing the backs of the knees towards the sky, hands pressed into the floor. Try not to move the head, always looking up towards the ceiling if you can, so we don't put pressure on the neck. And again, an optional extra, we could take this, obviously, up to a shoulder stand by bringing the hands onto the lower back, pressing flat palms, nice square elbows, and then up come the legs. This is about as complicated as my class is going to get. So I thought I'd just put this in there for those that wanted a nice inversion. Curling the toes towards you, work on aligning the upper body. So it's a nice vertically aligned position if you can. Hands on lower back. If you want to just stay in the plough position, you can. Or if you want to just stay with a 90-degree leg raise, you can. So there's 3 different options here for people to work with. Again, if you can close the eyes, finding stillness, withdrawing the senses inward, bringing the awareness to the parts of you that are in touch with the floor. Feel the solid surface of the floor and the earth beneath you supporting your practice. And now we're going to undo the position in the same way we came into it. Let's just take a moment longer. Everyone seems to be quite comfortable from what I can see. So, sorry, everyone started coming down and then I saw everyone quickly getting back up. So we will come down. We'll bend those knees, taking the legs back to plough. The arms come down to the floor. We use them as a brake to slowly stick one vertebrae at a time as we come back down to the leg lift. We're going to keep the legs raised, support the legs from behind with the hands, and just take a break. In fact, we can bend the knees, bringing the knees onto the chest, and just close the eyes. Feeling the ground beneath us. Letting the breath steady. Good. And then coming into the counter stretch as we bring the legs down onto the floor. So we're lying down again, once again on our backs. We're going to bring the hands underneath the sitting bones. So you're sitting on top of your hands, sitting up as though we're doing a sit up, raising the chest up towards the sky, coming to rest on the crown of the head or on the back of the head. Feeling a nice gentle stretch in the front of the neck, but this is quite a deep chest and heart opening position. Only coming up as high as is possible in this Matsyasana fish stretch. And if you were practicing at home and you wanted to hold this for longer, I can tell you a bolster underneath the upper back is really, really nice. And you can hold it for a little bit longer and really explore that chest opening for a bit longer. For now, we're going to close our eyes Feel the crown of the head supported by the ground. Feel the weight being taken by the arms, connected to the floor. Everything else is just alert yet soft and relaxed. Closing the eyes. And then slowly sliding the head back. I'm going to take both hands behind the head, interlace the fingers, bringing them behind the head, gently draw, just to undo that last compression, just gently draw the chin to the chest. And then bring the head back down. I'm going to turn onto my side. I'll come onto my left so it's easy for you to see me. I'm going to take my head in my hands. I'm going to hold my hands up here and say this is stolen from Pilates. We're going to straighten out the legs, well, certainly from one class that I went to. And I'm going to start to do some leg raises. Great. Feel the whole side of that body nice and connected with the ground. I'm not counting, so make them your own. Make it your own practice. You want to do one, do one. If you want to do 10, do 10. Now, holding that leg up there, you can imagine, kids love this. Hopefully you guys will too. You can imagine between that big toe and the second toe is a pencil or a pen. And you're going to write your name in big letters, capitals, in the air. Really giving that hip. Hip's going to be working in all directions. Up we come. Whenever I do this, I suddenly always bend rather than Benjamin. Great, and then when you finish writing your name, you're going to bring that leg back down again. And then we can turn to the other side. Again, feeling the connection, running down the whole side. And then I'm going to start just with the classic kind of leg raises. Nice to get that core working. Well, leg strengthening certainly, but I feel it's more the core of my body that's doing some of this work as well. However many times you want to do it. Then holding up, get that pen. Let's just do first names. Big capital letters. Great. And then we can roll all the way around onto our tummies. Bringing the legs out in front as we find a Sphinx position. So you should be familiar with, if you're not familiar with the Sphinx position in yoga, you'll be familiar with the Sphinx in Egypt. So we've got the paws of the Sphinx coming out in front. Today we're going to open the fingers nice and wide. Like two suction cups supporting the whole upper body. Bring the legs together. Engage the glutes, so you're kind of pressing the pelvis and the legs into the floor. The arms are about shoulder width apart. Now we're going to overextend here. So this is where you might be used to practicing Sphinx from. We're going to walk the hands forward a little bit more. Yeah, so you're quite long in the hands. And now, taking a breath in. Exhale, we're going to press into the hands as we start to straighten those arms and looking forwards, softening the shoulders, bringing the chest forwards and up. The gaze is about 45 degrees upwards. Hold here, so it's like an extended, looking good. I can see you now. That's much nice. Very nice. So the reason I said to overextend was in case anyone has any lower back issues. So now we can come down, and if you're comfortable to do so, you can walk your hands in. I'm going to bring mine in a whole hand length, but you can bring them in a few inches. Then we're going to practice this again. And then we're going to sort of play around with the breath here. So we're going to take a big breath in. Biggest breath now. Exhale, grounded, pressing everything into the floor, using the ground to help you come up. Press, 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 press. Soften those shoulders, extend that chest, looking forwards. Notice, make sure you're coming up slowly, guys. Making sure that we're protecting that lower back at all times. And then coming back down again. We're going to do one more round. You guys can walk your hands in a little bit more. And I just ran out of memory, but that's fine. Hopefully it will work the last part. So bringing those hands in even more. And then breathing in. Coming up to the full, deepest back bend here. Nice. Soften the shoulders, raise the chest. Once you're in it, this is our last time, so hold, close the eyes, and feel that ground beneath you. It's almost like those hands have got an extra couple of inches on them, rooting you into place and position. Same as the pelvis pressing into the floor, keeping you in place, keeping you in position. And then exhale, we're going to come down fully. Now we're going to practice one more variation where we bring the arms out to the side. Arms are coming out to the side, making right angles with the elbows here. Bring the chin onto the ground. Slowly we can come up, lifting the chest, exhale. Very nice. Good work. Looking forward. Again, it's that shoulders soft, chest forwards. Softening all the way back down. Bring the hands in, press it into those hands, curling the toes, arching the back through cat stretch. And then bringing the chin onto the chest, arching the back, sucking the tummy in towards the spine. And then back to neutral, a flat back. We'll just practice a few cat-cows here. Inhale, looking forward, pressing the spine towards the ground. Exhale, tucking the chin, arching the back. Feel the connection through the knees and the feet. Just a couple sort of classic vertical alignment, front to back, but also once we've done a few of those, we can explore the whole range of movement between those two positions. So snaking the spine and the body all the way through, becoming super soft, playing with it a little bit. The only thing and it is just a suggestion, is as you compress the body, we exhale. As we lengthen the body, we inhale. We could take it all the way back to a child's pose. All the way forward, some kind of like up dog variant, and then back again, and all other positions in between. If you hear any funny clicking and popping in the back, embrace it. Just tension being released, nothing to do with age. Round and round. Last few times, taking it all the way through to an up dog, sort of, and then all the way back. And then we're going to finish here back in neutral with the spine straight. Walking the hands forward, so coming into like an extended dog or puppy, as it's sometimes called, as you bring the head down, but we're going to rotate here. So once you come into this position, so we're softening the spine down towards the floor, the more flexible we'll have maybe the chest on the ground. But we're going to actually thread the left arm through and under the right, bringing the weight onto that left shoulder as we rotate this round, walking the right hand further forward. Now really dropping the weight as much as possible into that left shoulder. The left palm is faced towards the ceiling, otherwise you can have a funny stretch in that shoulder. So just keep the left palm up if possible. And then with every exhale, drop the weight into that shoulder. No weight is on the neck, it's all taken by the upper arm. Close the eyes. With every exhale, that sense of connection with the floor increasing, allowing you to let go even more. And then we're going to come back. Just coming back to neutral. I'm opening up my fingertips, guys, super wide to give me more support. And then I'm going to thread the opposite arm through. Taking the weight onto the shoulder. I mean, there might be a little bit of weight on the neck, but we're trying to avoid that. Protecting the neck at all times. Making sure it's the shoulder and the upper arm as much as possible. And then back to neutral. And I'm going to keep in this high kneeling position and walk the hands in towards me until I come up into a proper kneel. Good. Anyone give me a thumbs up? Make sure everyone's okay, still with me, still following. Yeah, good. Great. That's good. Okay, so guys, you might be familiar with like a camel stretch. We do all sorts of fancy things and come back, but we're not going to do like the full thing today. I really want to just be conscious of the lower back, making sure that we're sort of staying within the beginner's range, which was how I sort of developed this class. What we are going to do is we're going to come up onto the toes. So you can see I've just curled my toes there. Heels pointing up towards the sky. And we're going to take the hands. I'm actually going to use the waistband of my trousers. I'm going to tuck my fingertips into the top. That'll give you the right kind of position and start to, if I was to turn this way on, I don't want to see any of this arms out to the side, really opening the chest, yeah? So bringing those elbows back and you're going to feel a kind of scrunching sensation in the shoulder blades, really squeezing the muscles of the shoulders together. Now we're going to take a breath in, exhale, begin to lift the chest, begin to look up towards the sky. Hold here. So it's like a bit more of a supported back bend. Just hang out here, and then coming back to neutral. Keep pressing these hips and pelvis forward. So we don't want to be doing this either. We don't want to be doing all this coming back like that. It's not very safe. We want to keep nice and active in those legs. Let's try again. Breathing in. Elbows coming back, and then exhale, lift the chest. So I'm saying lift the chest. What I'm not saying is just bend backwards. Like it's not a collapsing in the lower back. It's a really strong opening in the chest, lifting the tummy, and as a result, we get a nice safe back bend. Hold here. Exhale. We'll do it one more time. For those that have got regular practice and you want to bring arms back, holding on to, you can come into a full camel position, or we're just going to stay this. I love doing this, it's really nice. I feel like the hands on the back just give me that little bit of extra assurance that I'm not going to damage myself. The elbows come back, exhale and lift. All about lifting, pushing the sitting bones and the hips forward, and then I can safely open. Coming back to that neutral position. Sitting back onto the heels into a low kneeling position. I'm going to come up onto the tippy toes. Sorry, it's an adult class, I have to remember. Tippy toes is what I say with the kids. So on the tippy toes, and then we're going to bring, if you can, obviously on the tippy toes. If you can't, you're just coming into a squat position would be fine. Tippy toes, and then arms are going to come out. So we're coming to this squat balance here. And then we're going to start to stand up. So we're going to come up just using the power of the legs, power, all the way up, reaching up towards the sky. I'm cut off, I realise. Now, if we're thinking about grounding, this is probably our least surface area we're going to have in a yoga position, right up on those tiptoes. And just notice that incredible pressure on the toes, straightening up both sides of the body. Lift, lift, lift through both sides. And then slowly sticking the soles of the feet down onto the floor, coming into Tadasana with the hands along the side. I'm actually going to try and shift you guys back a little bit. Maybe just see a little bit more of me. Okay, so coming into this classic mountain shape. Simple, your most simple, comfortable standing position. So I'd say just to have your hips, sorry, your feet about hip width apart. And if we can, unless there's any like physical rotation in the legs that you can't avoid, having the legs are parallel, making sure that the hips and pelvis are coming forward to keep the back straight, shoulders are soft and away, arms by the side, perfect. And we're just going to gently shift the weight from front to back like I'm rocking on the spot. Just explore what it feels like, soles of those feet. How equally is your weight distributed? Making sure that the inner arches of the feet are nice and grounded, as well as the outside. And then we want to come into that kind of place of equilibrium between front, back, left, foot, right foot, inner arches, outer arches, sticking down the soles of both feet, but the toes are just softly against the floor. You might even be able to raise your toes off the ground without bringing the rest up. And then hold here. This is our starting point for the next two positions, two standing balances. Grounding down, especially through this left foot as I bend the right knee. I'm going to take this right knee up. Now you may just want to stay here. For those that want to explore further, we're going to hold onto the right knee with the left foot. No, sorry, that doesn't make sense. Hold onto the right knee with the left hand. I'm going to take the right arm behind me, rotating, and then he says, as he wobbles, looking behind you, opening up the chest into this rotated standing balance. If you don't want to do the rotation, we just stay with the leg up. See how far you can open looking behind you. Now you want to be dropping the awareness completely into that grounded foot. Feel the ball of the foot pressing into the floor. Keep the breath steady and even, finding a point to gaze at. That external grounding, looking. The internal grounding, feeling through the foot. And then I'm going to take the rotation back to the front, taking the knee out to the side to open the hips, finding a place, comfortable place to rest that leg. Exactly the same thing. Externally grounding through our drishti, the point that we're focusing on. Internally grounding through that pressure and that feeling sensation in the foot as it touches the ground. Hands resting in the lap or taking it up. Prayer is quite nice. Again, just making it your own practice, working with what you want to do. I always like just having it in the lap. And I just want us to work on stillness. How still can we become? How can we turn this practice into a meditation, a meditative practice? Keep opening out this knee to the side to keep this hip area open. Keeping the shoulder from coming forward. Naturally, I want to do this, but I have to keep working that, opening that back. And if you slip out of it, we just come straight back in. Couple more breaths. Then I'm going to release that foot, take the knee front, drop it down. Hopefully, nothing's changed, back in that nice, comfortable mountain position. Bending the opposite knee's going to come up. Holding onto it, you can stay here, or taking now the right hand, holding onto the left foot. And I know this is going to be more challenging for me on this side, so slowly I just explore piece by piece, centimetre by centimetre, where my range is today for the rotation. Big breaths, grounding through the vision, gazing externally, and grounding through that foot. Opening the chest, deep breaths. Coming back to centre. Opening the hip out to the side, knee out to the side, placing the foot lightly against the leg, avoiding the knee if we can. Nice open hips. Hands coming down. Bringing this shoulder back, nice parallel shoulders. And then if we want to, raising the arms up. Choosing a position that's comfortable for you. And again, working with finding stillness and relaxation within each position. Having the practice as meditation. Great work. Take that foot out, undo the position in the same way you came into it. Knee comes forward first, and then dropping that knee. And let's just have a little shake. Just shake it all off. On the spot, just feet nice and grounded, but just be soft. In the knees, in the arm, doesn't matter. No one can see you, but I can see you. I don't care. Looking around, just let everything become super bouncy. Any residual tension in those shoulders, just let it go. And then we're going to come back to that tone that we started the class with. You know, when we're thinking of the tone of the earth, that deep resonant sound, and we're going to do it now. We're going to breathe in. One more time, breathing in. One last time, breathing in. Good. Coming back to Tadasana. Feet together. Inhale with the palms facing up, forward, reaching up, and then slight soft bend in the knees. Exhale, sucking the belly in as we come forward, drawing the tummy to the chest. Exhale, we're going to step those feet back, coming back to that all fours position. Holding here, drawing the tummy in towards the chest. And then again, we're going to find those positions between that upward dog position or variation of it and child's pose. And everything in between. Again, dropping the awareness into hands and the feet and the knees, everything that's in contact with the floor. And then coming all the way back to child's pose and closing the eyes. Just going to have a quick check in with time. Bring the awareness back to the breath without trying to change it. Just let it be at its natural resting rhythm and depth. And then bring the awareness to all the parts of you that are in touch with the floor. Feeling the solid surface beneath you, supporting this opening, supporting this practice. And then we're going to come into a relaxation position, one that we're comfortable with. So this can be absolutely anything, just something that you're able to really let go in. So it can be seated, it can be on the back, it can be on the tummy, it can be in a handstand. It can be eyes open, eyes closed. Grab yourself a blanket if you need it. We're going to be here for maybe 5 minutes. And that will take us to time. I am here. I'm just going to drop my lights because I've got these big studio lights, which are super bright. So once we've found that, once we're in our sweet spot, that space that we know we're just going to be able to hold, have a last little wiggle around. I know everyone wants to, once it starts, everyone's going to want to have a little further bit of movement, I know. So just have that last kind of like adjustment that you might need to make, have a stretch above the head, do whatever it is you need to do to be really comfortable. Of course, you can move at any time, but and now, if you are comfortable closing the eyes, allow them to close softly. No need to have them tightly shut, just allow them to close softly. And allow all the features of the face to soften at the same time. Allow the jaw to relax. There can be a little parting between the teeth. The tongue just rests lightly against the roof of the mouth or against the teeth. And there's no need to do anything with the breath. The breath is doing a perfect job on its own. Just let it be a natural resting breath. No need to change it or do anything fancy. Just let the breath be coming in and out. Soft rhythm. Feeling the floor beneath you, feeling the density of the floor, solid surface, bricks and mortar and concrete and soil and rocks. Feel the solid surface of the ground. Solid surface supporting your relaxation. Get a sense of your weight in relationship with the floor, the shape of your body and the weight of your body, forming this partnership with the ground, with the earth. Gravity, keeping you in one place. Sense of pressure between that place where the floor and your body meets. These two opposing forces. Feel the sense of safety of the ground supporting, holding, stabilizing, keeping your relaxation safe, allowing you to let go on deeper and deeper levels. And then a quick scan of the body as we bring our awareness to the right arm. Feeling the whole right arm. Notice where you're holding, whether it's the fingers or the back of the wrist, the elbow, up to the shoulder. Just let go of that right arm completely. Let the whole weight and shape and everything of the right arm be taken by the floor, completely supported by the earth. Complete letting go of the right arm, all the way up to the shoulder. Expanding that to the right side of the chest. Feel the right side of the chest relaxing onto the ground. And to the waist, the right side of the waist, front and back. And everything that's going on there, digestive system and all your internal organs that are housed there, just on the right side. If you feel that you're holding in any way, just see what you're able to release. See if that can go all the way into the hip. And through letting go, we integrate all the opening, stretching and balancing that we've just done, allowing it to be integrated. Let the hips soften onto the floor, sitting bones, hip, pelvis, all along that right side. Down the leg and past the knee, back of knee, all the way down, tips of the toes. You can feel the whole right side of you now. See if we can join it all up and feel the whole right side soft against the floor. Taking it to the left arm, fingertips to shoulder, checking in. Where are you holding? Maybe you're not holding at all. But just trust that the body knows where to let go. And it will. It will find that relaxation if you give it permission, if you give yourself permission. Let the whole left arm soften against the ground. Feel those fingers relaxed. Wrist, elbow, upper arm, all the way up to the shoulder. Left side of chest, down into the left side of the tummy and everything that's housed there. Just see how much of your body you can actually engage and become aware of and to bring into the practice. Take it down to the hip, pelvis, sitting bones. Treating each side and each part as an independent as well as a unified field, so it might not be the same on this side as it was on the other. Approaching it with an open mind. Feel that wave travelling down the leg, knees, back of knees, all the way down to the soles of the left sole of the left foot. Join it all up, feeling the whole left side of you now, the whole left side relaxed. And if it's not, that's okay too. Back of head, feel the back of the head and the neck. And then just joining everything up for the last moment, feeling, sensing, experiencing your whole body together on the floor, in this place, on the mat, in your house, in your home, in your town, in your village, country, on this planet, right here, now, feeling it all together. What does that feel like? Joining it all up. And then just as quickly, let it all go. Coming back to the breath. Back to the natural breath. Soft rising and falling of the chest. And if you feel a little bit sleepy, which is natural, coming back to the sounds around you, the sound of my voice, any sounds coming out from the street or wherever. Coming back to a more grounded, awake state. Placing the hands over the closed eyelids, just giving yourself a little bit of an eye massage from behind closed eyelids. Opening the eyes behind the hands, and then slowly bringing our hands away from the eyes so we come back to the room more gently. And then in your own time, we're just going to leave it there for my session. I'm just going to leave you guys to come back in any way that feels right. I'm aware of just the time. I might have gone slightly over. So just doing whatever you need to do to come back into the body if you've drifted off, to get yourself back, whatever. Oh, thank you everybody for joining.